Hello guys and welcome to. Well, did you guys like that title card? You guys joined me at a point when I've just hired my first employee and right now I'm putting him to the work. But before that, let's go back to the basic. It is a game about selling candy, crystal candy, and powdered sugar. First, you put some soil in the pot, then you plant a seed, and lastly, you give it some water. Then you wait a lot until the plant is ready to be harvested. You take your Twizzlers out and harvest the plant. Then you will get 8 of the candy. This is not crystal candy and not the powdered sugar. You can also mix this candy with something else to get some much needed effect. For those effects, you need some ingredient, and some of these ingredients can be that. After getting those ingredients, you wonder what else I can add. So you buy amalgamation of ingredients and try to mix them all in. And the result can be very subpar. For me, I selected paracetamol, some coke, some chili, and lastly Viagra. First, I mixed paracetamol, which brought its price from $40 to $55. Then I added coke in it. This decreased its price and brought it down to $47, which was a huge setback. Next was chili. It brought the price back up to $56, equal to white fruit. I was back to the square one. Next was Viagra. That brought up the price to $72. And since I'm just showing you the mechanics of the game, I'm just gonna bag this up and I'm gonna put this up on the market for $80. Now come the process of selling the product. I accepted 2 deals. One of them was right in front of my house. He needed the crystal candy. The second deal was at the front of the motel and required only the candy. Well, that's that. You join me back at the mansion, where for now I wanted to do 2 things. First was to automate the production of candy, and secondly was to get into the production of crystal candy. For the production of crystal candy, you require certain ingredients. Those ingredients can only be found in the factory. So I started heading toward the factory, having a close call with the police in the curfew. And I let myself have it from over here. Holy hell, there are more of these guys over here. That's bad, that's bad. I can enter from over here, and now I am safe. Thank you. And this guy only take cash. This is a supplied guy, and that's a fixer over there. He can find me anyone that I would like to hire, either a botanist, a cleaner, or lastly a chemist. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. A cleaner, botanist, handler, packager, I see, and lastly chemist. Last time this wasn't over here, the handler wasn't here, so this might be updated. And this guy will only tell me to piss off. And this guy will sell me something that I can commit crimes with. Can I go with a ranged? No, I cannot have a revolver right now because I'm not that good of a level, or I'm not that high of a level. And I can buy anything from a baseball to a machete and a frying pan in between. Don't know how that got there. And lastly, we have Oscar. He will sell me supplies, something that I can further my business with. Okay, that's enough of that tour. The 2 things that Oscar sells is acid and phosphorus. Both of them get utilized in the production of crystal candy. So I got 5 of each and headed home. At home, I put those 2 ingredients in and realized one more is required at the chemistry station. So the great search began. I went at the gas station and looked for the ingredient. No luck. I went back to the warehouse and looked at his ingredient one more time if I was missing something. No luck there. Then I realized I've recently unlocked a dealer. which I haven't seen what he sold. So I went and looked at that contact. Her name was Shirley, and she worked at a pharmaceutical company. She said that she heard that I had come down with a terrible cough, and she was willing to supply me pseudo, though still a low quality one, but good enough for us to get the production started. So, in an instant, I ordered what I could, which comes out to be 8 low quality pseudo. It was night, so I went to sleep. In the morning, the first thing I did is to collect my package. It was right behind the top tattoo shop, and right beside the house I'm holding operation. I got home and immediately started cooking the first batch of our crystal candy. The process went like this. It began by first some acid, then some phosphorus, and lastly pseudo, which determines the quality of the product. With that, you stir the solution, then you lower the flask and put the solution in it. Then you raise the flask again and it's time to cook. For it to start cooking, you have to keep it within its temperature. After that, you leave it for 8 minutes. While the crystal candy was cooking, I got a call from my uncle and he had this to say.
I'm getting a call from Uncle Nelson, so let's pause it and see what he has to say. Moscow sell everything you need to make, with the exception of pseudo. For that, you're gonna need to hook up with a supplier. I don't know any pseudo supplier, so you're on your own with this one. There ought to be someone in Westville that can get you what you need. Open up your contact app and look for a supplier in Westville. Keep unlocking customers in that region, and you'll get attention in no time. And I already got that and cook up Matt at a chemistry station. That is the only thing left, so let's go and try that. Wait a second, did I say that word?
In the meanwhile, I realized what my first goal was. My first goal was to automate the production of the candy. For that, I bought 2 suspension racks, 2 pots, and 2 LEDs. I put those down in my house and assigned them to the worker. I noticed that my dealer were going out of product, so it was time to cook up a new product. I noticed I had a lot of greener stuff in my storage as it was being grown by my employee. So I start experiment with it, mixing it with ingredients and looking for the next high value product. You mix the green stuff worth $43 with the banana, which is worth $2, which turns it into a product worth $57, an increase of $14 and a profit of $12. Next was Coke, which is worth $2 and brought the price up to $65, an increase of $8 and a profit of $6. Next was Jelly, which was worth $7 and brought the price up to $78, an increase of $13 and a profit of $6. Not as much as expected, as I've kept a baseline for me about 50% profit, but I still went on with it. Next is Viagra, which is worth $4 and brought the price up to $94, an increase of $16 and a profit of $14. This makes Viagra the most profitable item to add. And just like that, I'm done. Totaling to 70 candy. This is where I collected my first batch of crystal candy. I put them in the rack and went to sleep. In the morning, I started distributing my dealers the new candy and collecting the money they have earned. I did my own deals, totaling me over $7,000. I tried putting all my money in the bank, but I was only limited to $6,000. This is where my uncle called me and he had this to say.
Looks like you reach a weekly deposit. To avoid arousing suspicion, you can only deposit so much each week by ATM. To convert more cash into online balance, you're gonna need to start laundering. Laundering money is a legal business to conceal the origin of your less than legal cash. Okay, I see. That's where you buy the business. I was wondering what was their purpose. So, there you go. He just explained that. First of Wait, I thought. Oh, wait, I thought something happened. Switch a realty. You're gonna probably not You're probably not gonna be buying out casino anytime soon, but there should be a cheap business for sale. Yeah, that's true. After that, I started looking for new customers.
And when I went to the second customer, this happened.
Oh my god, spicy! That's what happens with spicy. That you are a really good torch. I will use it in Skyrim. No, Skyrim, some dark game. Maybe in that one game I forgot its name.
Well, guys, it's the next day, and it's been a while since I played this game. This is the new update where they added the pawn guy in the shop since he was not showing up. But let's continue. Today I wanted to test out certain things. I wanted to find out who were the most paying customers. So I deassigned all of my customers from the dealers. I was only able to find out 2 customers that look like they will pay a lot. First was Jessie. She's a bit crazy, but she pays a lot. Second is Geraldine Poon. He paid a lot. After only these 2, I folded and went to do what I wanted to do first. I hired a chemist and a handler to automate the production of candy. I bought a bed and a mixing station and went back home. At home, I put down the bed and assigned them to my new employees. I went back to the factory and bought 4 suspension racks, a mixing station, 4 AirPods, and lastly 4 full spectrum lights for $200 each. This made my bank run a bit dry. At home, I put these down with the best of configuration I could come up with. In the morning, I started to look into how chemists interacted with the mixing station and learned that the process is a bit more meticulous. The chemists only work on a mixing station if both product and ingredient were available. To create a complex product, all you need to do is systemize the process. For product, you can chain it from mixer to mixer, with each step taking an ingredient and adding an effect. For ingredients, you can stock each ingredient in a storage rack and supply them through handler to each mixer. For now, I needed to empty out these large racks, and one of them was filled to the brim with products. So for the whole night, I kept mixing ingredients and coming up with new products. And all done. In total, I've created 205 products, each worth more than $100. Here's what I've come up with. For OG Kush, I came up with a product worth $105 and I priced it at $120. I named them according to the ingredients required in the process. For Crystal Candy, I came up with a product worth $186. Then I priced it at $200 and as usual named it according to the ingredients required for the mix. And for the sour diesel, I came up with a product worth $108, which I priced at $125. Now, if you have been paying attention, you'll notice that all of the recipes have one thing in common. All of them require 4 ingredients. Why have I done this? I noticed that my chemist can only be assigned to 4 mixes. That means I'm limited to 4 ingredient recipes. That was the simple reasoning behind it. The next day I went on a dealing spree. With all of those deals, I earned over $8,000. Afterwards, I gave the remaining products to my dealers and went back to the house. The next day, I bought 6 small shelves and prepared for automation of the candy. First, I put those 6 small shelves down. Then I put down a 1 large shelf which held the supplies for the growth of candy. I then assigned root to the handler, then assigned mixes to the chemist, and it goes on. The goal was to automate the production of OG Kush as I had seeds lying for it. With all the preparation completed, I gave it a shot. It immediately broke. My handler wasn't transporting iodine and Viagra to its respective mixer, while my chemist was stuck in an infinite loop. I gave it a shot one more time after restarting. I filled up all the shelves with ingredients and watched it run. This time, it worked flawlessly. My botanist kept bringing the raw candy and kept overproducing, while my chemist was slow as hell and my handler kept supplying the mixes. In the end, my chemist, my handler, and my botanist were able to produce 100 of OG Kush, which is enough to keep up with the demand. Well guys, I saw certain shortcoming of this process and I know it can be improved. And if you wanna see that, for that, like and subscribe and I'll keep making these videos. Bye bye.